Have you ever paused at the dinner table, looked down at your plate filled with greens, and thought, isn't this supposed to be good for me? For most of your life, you were probably told to eat your vegetables. They're good for digestion, they keep you young, they'll help you live longer. And for the most part, that's been true. But here's the surprising twist. As we grow older, the very foods we once considered our best allies can quietly become challenges for our aging bodies. That's right. Some vegetables, though healthy in general, can turn into what doctors call a silent burden if we're not careful. It's not because your body has failed you, quite the opposite. Your body is simply changing, adapting, growing wiser in its own way. After the age of 60, your digestion may slow, your kidneys and liver might tire more easily, and your body becomes more sensitive to certain substances. Yet most people don't realize this shift is happening until something starts to feel off. Could it be that the healthy choices you've been making all along need just a small adjustment? Maybe it's not about cutting out vegetables entirely, but about knowing which ones to treat with more care. So today, let's explore 7 common vegetables that might surprise you. They're not bad, but they do require a wiser, gentler approach. Let's learn together how to keep your meals nourishing, balanced, and most importantly, right for your age and your needs. Number 1, sweet but silent. Why peas aren't always so innocent. At first glance, they seem harmless. Tiny, green, soft little pearls of sweetness that have sat on dinner plates for generations. Peas. You've probably enjoyed them your whole life. Stirred into stews, served warm with butter, or spooned beside mashed potatoes. They bring a sense of comfort, don't they? A reminder of simpler meals and familiar flavors. But could something so gentle actually hide something more complicated? As we age, our bodies begin to whisper things to us. Subtle changes in how we digest, how we feel after meals, how easily we sleep or wake. Sometimes it's a bloated belly after dinner that never used to happen. Sometimes it's an ache in your joints that flares without warning. And sometimes, without even realizing it, it's a food we've trusted our whole life that's quietly stirring up trouble. Peas, sweet as they are, can be one of those silent triggers. If you have a history of high blood sugar or are managing type 2 diabetes, this small vegetable could be sneaking in more sugar than your body's ready to handle. While it's not as dramatic as candy or soda, peas have a high glycemic load, meaning they convert quickly into glucose. That quick spike might make you feel tired, foggy, or unexpectedly hungry soon after eating. Have you ever had a meal and found yourself craving something sweet not long after? It might not be your imagination, it might be the peas, but that's not the only hidden surprise. Peas also contain purines, natural substances that break down into uric acid in the body. And when uric acid levels build up, especially if your kidneys are no longer filtering as effectively as they once did, you may find yourself facing painful conditions like gout or kidney stones. Those sharp, stabbing pains in the feet or lower back? Yes, sometimes they can begin with something as simple as what's on your plate. Still, this doesn't mean you have to fear every pea on your fork. Not at all. It simply means you now need to eat with wisdom. That wisdom doesn't come from fear. It comes from experience, from listening to your body, from understanding how different foods affect you today, not how they did when you were 30 or 40. So what can you do? First, cook your peas thoroughly. This helps break down the starches that are harder to digest and may reduce the bloating or discomfort you feel after eating. Second, eat them in moderation. Peas don't need to disappear from your plate. They just need to earn their place carefully. And most importantly, avoid them if you're dealing with gout, kidney issues, or frequent bloating after meals. In those cases, there are plenty of other vegetables that can nourish you without adding stress to your system. Isn't it amazing how something so small can hold such power? And isn't it even more amazing that with each year of life, you gain the insight to make kinder, more thoughtful choices for your body? You've earned that wisdom. You've lived through decades of change, of food trends, and shifting health advice. And now you know what matters most is not what's trendy, but what helps you feel well. It's not about restriction, it's about harmony. It's about learning to eat in a way that supports your energy, protects your joints, and brings peace to your stomach. So the next time you see a handful of peas on your plate, pause for a moment. Listen to your body. Make your choice with care, because at this stage of life, every bite is not just about taste, it's about honoring the vessel that carries you through your golden years. And that's something truly beautiful, don't you think? Number 2, asparagus. Elegant but exhausting for the kidneys. There's something graceful about asparagus. Tall, slender, with a delicate flavor and a touch of elegance. It's the kind of vegetable that makes a plate look sophisticated. You might have enjoyed it at a springtime brunch, lightly steamed or roasted with olive oil, and felt good knowing it was considered a superfood. But what if something so refined could quietly wear down one of the most important parts of your body? As you age, your kidneys, the body's silent filters, become more sensitive. They work day and night to clear toxins, manage hydration, and balance your minerals. But like everything else, they can tire with time. You may not feel it immediately, but the signs can creep in. A sudden bout of dizziness, muscle cramps that seem to come out of nowhere, or that foggy feeling in the late afternoon. Could it be dehydration? Yes, dehydration becomes more common in our golden years. Not because we drink less water necessarily, but because our body's signal for thirst simply grows quieter. And that's where asparagus, surprisingly, can stir up some trouble. You see, asparagus is a natural diuretic, which means it encourages your body to flush out fluids. For younger folks, this might be harmless or even helpful. But for someone over 60, especially if you're already taking medications that affect fluid levels, this flushing effect can tip the balance. Without realizing it, you may be losing more water and vital minerals than your body can afford. Have you ever felt a little more tired or lightheaded after a healthy meal? Or needed to use the restroom a bit too often afterward? Sometimes the problem isn't what you didn't eat, but what you did. And there's another layer to consider. Like peas, asparagus also contains purines, the compounds that break down into uric acid. If your kidneys are already under stress, or if you're prone to gout or kidney stones, asparagus can quietly add to the problem. That sharp pain in the big toe, or that dull ache in your lower back? It might not be age alone. It might be a signal that your kidneys are asking for rest. But let's be clear, this isn't about giving up on asparagus entirely. Far from it. It's about awareness. It's about knowing that your body today isn't the same as it was 10 or 20 years ago. It's about learning the rhythm of your own health and choosing foods that work with you, not against you. So, what can you do? For starters, enjoy asparagus in moderation. Perhaps once or twice a week and always with a full glass of water. Try to avoid it on especially hot or dry days when your body's already struggling to hold on to fluids. And if you're already managing kidney issues or taking diuretics, it may be best to consult your doctor before making asparagus a regular part of your plate. Isn't it remarkable how even the healthiest foods come with their own stories? How each choice at mealtime becomes part of your lifelong conversation with your body? And isn't it empowering to know that, with just a little more understanding, you can continue to eat well, feel good, and move forward with grace? You're not just feeding your body anymore. You're tending to your energy, your clarity, your comfort. And by listening closely to the whispers of your body, you're giving yourself the gift of vitality, one thoughtful meal at a time. Number 3, corn, sweet but a strain on digestion and blood sugar. There's something wonderfully nostalgic about corn. Maybe it reminds you of childhood summers, sweet corn on the cob at backyard cookouts, or warm bowls of corn soup on chilly evenings. Its gentle sweetness brings comfort, a sense of home, family, and tradition. But what if this familiar friend isn't quite as gentle to your body as it once was? As we grow older, our digestion becomes more delicate. The gut doesn't work quite as efficiently, and what used to be easy to process can suddenly leave us feeling heavy, bloated, or tired. Have you ever noticed bits of corn in your stool, still whole, untouched by digestion? That's not unusual. Corn's outer shell is made of cellulose, a fiber that the human body can't fully break down. While fiber is good, when it comes in a form we can't absorb, it can create more discomfort than benefit, especially if your digestion is slowing down. But that's just the beginning. Today's corn isn't always the same wholesome crop you remember from decades past. In the US, most of the corn on the market is genetically modified, GMO, and it's often sprayed with glyphosate, a chemical that has raised growing concerns about its effects on long-term gut health and even brain function. You may not taste it, see it, or smell it, but over time, these residues can build up in your system, especially if your body's detoxification pathways, like your liver and kidneys, aren't operating at full strength anymore. And there's more. Corn is not only served fresh, it hides in countless processed foods, cereal, corn chips, corn syrup, and even salad dressings. These products can cause blood sugar spikes, leaving you feeling jittery, fatigued, or craving more sugar shortly after eating. Over time, this roller coaster can lead to insulin resistance, belly fat, and even non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, all conditions that become more common after 60. You may be asking yourself, but I've always loved corn. Do I really need to give it up completely? The answer, my dear, isn't black or white. It's about learning to eat corn consciously, choosing quality over quantity, and whole forms over processed. When you enjoy corn, make it count. Opt for organic, non-GMO varieties, and always pair it with fiber-rich greens or legumes that help slow digestion and ease blood sugar response. Avoid processed corn products like popcorn soaked in artificial butter, sugary cornflakes, or corn syrup hidden in low-fat snacks. These aren't the same as the fresh corn your grandparents grew. They are stripped of nutrients and filled with things your body no longer has the patience or power to filter easily. And remember, how you feel after a meal is just as important as how you feel during. Pay attention. If you notice your belly feels tight, your joints ache more the next day, or you feel oddly sleepy after eating, those may be your body's quiet signals asking for something gentler. Isn't it remarkable how your body, even after all these years, still finds a way to speak to you? And isn't it even more powerful that you're still listening? You're not simply eating to survive, you're choosing to thrive. You're giving your body what it needs to stay active, alert, and comfortable. And while corn may still hold a sweet place in your heart, now you have the wisdom to enjoy it in a way that honors the beautiful journey you've traveled and the healthy road that still lies ahead. Number 4, mushrooms, earthy but heavy with hidden risks. There's something deeply comforting about mushrooms. They feel grounded, earthy, familiar, almost spiritual in their simplicity. Maybe you've enjoyed them in warm soups, savory stir-fries, or even grilled to perfection at a family cookout. They've long been celebrated as a superfood, rich in nutrients, low in calories, and gentle on the stomach, or so we thought. But as with many things in life, there's more than meets the eye, especially when it comes to how your body changes with age and how those changes affect the way you process even the most natural foods. Mushrooms, for all their charm, can pose unexpected challenges as you grow older, particularly when your body's detox systems begin to slow down. You see, mushrooms have a unique ability. They absorb. They soak up the nutrients and the essence of the earth they grow in, but they also absorb heavy metals, chemicals, and toxins far more than many other foods. If mushrooms are grown in contaminated soil or treated with pesticides, they carry those invisible burdens straight to your plate. Have you ever felt nauseous after eating mushrooms? Or maybe just a little off, with bloating, rashes, or vague discomfort you couldn't quite name? For many people over 60, those reactions aren't random. They're your body's way of saying, I'm more sensitive now. Please be gentle with me. And let's talk about agritine, a naturally occurring compound found in raw mushrooms. Some studies suggest it may have carcinogenic effects when consumed in large amounts, or if mushrooms are eaten raw frequently. While the research is still evolving, one thing is clear. Mushrooms should always be cooked thoroughly, especially if your immune system isn't as quick to respond as it once was. Even beyond the toxins, there's the matter of digestion. Mushrooms contain a type of sugar called mannitol, which can ferment in the gut and cause bloating or gas, especially for those with slower digestive systems or mild food sensitivities. And for some people, especially older adults, mushrooms may even trigger mild allergic reactions that build slowly over time. Does that mean mushrooms are off the menu for good? Not at all. It just means that now, more than ever, it's important to know where your mushrooms come from, how they're prepared, and how they make you feel. So what can you do to enjoy them safely? Choose organic mushrooms grown in clean, traceable environments. Cook them thoroughly, grill, saute, or simmer them until they're soft and fragrant. And most importantly, listen to your body. If you feel bloated, tired, or unwell after a meal that includes mushrooms, try leaving them out for a while and see how you respond. This is the beauty of aging. You begin to understand not just what's healthy in general, but what's healthy for you. You've earned the right to be discerning, to pause before each meal and ask, is this food supporting me? That awareness is a quiet kind of power. And don't forget, taking care of yourself now means more energy to enjoy the little things. A peaceful walk, a warm conversation, a memory shared with someone you love. Food is no longer just fuel. It's a companion on your journey of wellness and joy. So next time you see those beautiful mushrooms at the store or on your plate, take a moment to appreciate them, but also to choose them wisely. Because your body has changed, yes, but so has your wisdom. And with that wisdom, you can continue living fully, one thoughtful bite at a time. Number 5, cabbage, cooling but hard on the thyroid. Cabbage has always felt like one of the safest, most reliable vegetables. It's humble, familiar, and soothing, tossed in stir-fries, simmered in comforting soups, or served cold in a fresh salad. You may have grown up with it, cooked it for your family, or still enjoy it today with a sense of quiet satisfaction. After all, it's light, full of fiber, and known for its cooling, cleansing effects on the body. But here's a surprising truth. As your body matures, even something as gentle as cabbage can start to have unintended consequences, especially when it comes to your thyroid. The thyroid, a small butterfly-shaped gland in your neck, plays a bigger role in your well-being than most people realize. It helps regulate your energy levels, body temperature, weight, and even mood. But with age, the thyroid can become more vulnerable, more sensitive, and sometimes more sluggish. And certain vegetables, including cabbage, contain goitrogens, natural compounds that can interfere with your body's ability to absorb iodine, a mineral essential for healthy thyroid function. You might be wondering, how would I know if my thyroid is slowing down? The signs are often subtle at first: persistent fatigue, unexplained weight gain, forgetfulness, or feeling cold even when others aren't. These symptoms are easy to dismiss as just getting older, but in reality, they could be quiet signals that your thyroid needs support. And if you eat large amounts of raw cabbage, or its cruciferous cousins like kale, broccoli, or Brussels sprouts, your body may struggle to keep your thyroid in balance. This doesn't mean cabbage is the enemy. Far from it. It's still a deeply nutritious food, but now it's time to eat it with awareness and to prepare it in ways that support your body, not strain it. Another piece of the puzzle lies in digestion. Cabbage contains a natural sugar called raffinose, which ferments in the gut and produces gas. For someone with a strong digestive fire, this might not be a problem. But if your digestion has slowed with time, as it often does, you may notice more bloating, burping, or discomfort after a cabbage-heavy meal. That familiar tightness in your belly, that feeling of fullness that lingers too long, it might just be your gut asking for a gentler approach. So what can you do? You don't need to give up cabbage. Instead, give it what it needs to be easier on you. Cook it well. Boiling, steaming, or braising cabbage helps reduce the goitrogens and makes it more digestible. You can even enjoy it in fermented forms like sauerkraut or kimchi, which not only ease digestion, but also support gut health with natural probiotics. And of course, variety is key. Don't let any single vegetable dominate your plate. Let your meals reflect the richness of life, colorful, balanced, and thoughtfully chosen. Isn't it something the way food continues to teach us? What once nourished us in our youth may now ask for gentler handling, softer preparation, or smaller portions. And isn't it beautiful, too, that you now have the wisdom to recognize those shifts, to meet your body's changing needs with grace and kindness? You're not just feeding your body, you're listening to it. And that kind of listening is one of the quiet superpowers of aging. So next time you're preparing cabbage, whether in a soup pot or a steamer, remember you're not just cooking, you're caring. You're choosing to walk in step with your body, honoring all the years it has carried you, and gently guiding it through the years to come. Number 6. Eggplant. Beautiful but a subtle trigger for joint pain. There's no denying the beauty of an eggplant. Deep purple skin, smooth to the touch, with a richness and color that feels almost royal. In the kitchen, it's versatile, soaking up flavors, turning tender and silky when cooked just right. You may love it grilled, baked, or stirred into a comforting stew. It feels nourishing, earthy, even a little luxurious. But beneath that glossy surface lies something few people talk about, especially as we grow older. For some, eggplant can quietly become a trigger for joint discomfort, inflammation, and digestive unease. And the reason why might surprise you. Eggplants belong to a plant family known as nightshades, which also includes tomatoes, peppers, and white potatoes. While nightshades are common and beloved in many cuisines, they contain a natural chemical called solanine. In sensitive individuals, especially those with arthritis, gout, or chronic joint issues, solanine can act as a subtle irritant, amplifying inflammation, intensifying joint pain, and leaving you feeling stiffer than usual after a meal. Have you ever noticed your knees ache more the morning after a big dish of eggplant parmigiana? Or maybe your fingers feel a little swollen or less flexible? It's easy to chalk it up to the weather or aging, but sometimes your plate holds clues your body is trying to show you. Eggplants also contain oxalates, compounds that in higher amounts may contribute to kidney stone formation, especially in those whose kidneys are already working harder with age. If you've ever dealt with the sharp, sudden pain of a kidney stone, you know how disruptive it can be. And if you're trying to prevent future ones, it's important to be mindful of foods that add to your oxalate load. And let's not forget digestion. The skin and seeds of eggplants are a bit tougher on the digestive tract, especially if yours has slowed down with age. That feeling of bloating or reflux after a rich meal with eggplant? It might not be the spices or the cheese. It could simply be the fruit itself asking for a different kind of attention. But please don't worry. This doesn't mean eggplant must vanish from your table forever. It means now is the time to be thoughtful, to listen a little more carefully to how your body responds, and to adjust in ways that feel gentle, not restrictive. So how can you enjoy eggplant safely? Start by cooking it thoroughly. Bake, grill, stew, or sauté it until soft. Avoid eating it undercooked or chewy, which makes digestion harder. If you're sensitive to its skin or seeds, try peeling it and removing the seeds before cooking, and consider spacing out how often you eat it, rather than every week, perhaps just once or twice a month, depending on how you feel afterward. And most importantly, pay attention. Your body is wise. It may not shout, but it will whisper. If your joints feel tighter, if you wake up with extra stiffness, or if you notice indigestion creeping in, pause and reflect. Was eggplant part of your meal? Isn't it incredible how food, like people, changes meaning as we grow? What once felt harmless or even healing might now need a little more care. But that's not a loss. It's a gift of awareness, the kind that comes only with time, with experience, and with a lifetime of living in your body. So the next time you hold an eggplant in your hands, admire its beauty, but also honor your own. You've earned the right to eat in a way that supports your strength, your comfort, and your peace. Number 7, potatoes, beloved but a blood sugar spike. Waiting to happen, few foods feel as comforting, as deeply rooted in tradition as the humble potato. It's a staple on so many tables, whether mashed, roasted, baked, or fried. Potatoes are there at Sunday dinners, holiday feasts, and quiet weeknight meals. They carry memories of your mother's kitchen, of the smell of butter melting over soft, steamy flesh, of warmth and fullness after a long day. And for good reason. They're satisfying, versatile, and affordable. But here's a truth that becomes more important as you age. Not all comfort foods are comforting to your body anymore. Potatoes, especially white potatoes, have one of the highest glycemic indexes of all vegetables. That means when you eat them, especially in large amounts or with rich toppings like butter, cream, or cheese, your blood sugar can spike quickly, then drop just as fast. This roller coaster can leave you feeling tired, foggy, or oddly hungry again not long after a meal. Have you ever felt sleepy after lunch, even when you thought you'd eaten something healthy? That sudden drop in energy might not be from age. It could be from your body struggling to manage a rush of sugar from those innocent-looking potatoes. As we grow older, our ability to process sugar efficiently declines. The body becomes more resistant to insulin, and the pancreas has to work harder just to keep blood sugar in check. Over time, this can lead to prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, and fat accumulation in the liver, all conditions that are more common after 60 and often silently developing. But that's not the only concern. When potatoes are fried, as in French fries, hash browns, or even those golden crispy edges from a pan, they produce a compound called acrylamide. This chemical, formed during high-heat cooking, has been linked to inflammation and possible cancer risks when consumed regularly over time. And yet, potatoes are beloved. They're not just food, they're memory, tradition, and comfort. So how can you still enjoy them without letting them harm your health? Start by changing how you prepare them. Skip the frying and try boiling or steaming potatoes with the skin on. This keeps their natural fiber intact, which helps slow the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream. Combine them with healthy proteins like eggs or lentils, or with greens rich in fiber, like spinach or kale. This simple shift can help prevent that dramatic rise and fall of energy after eating. Portion size matters too. You don't need a plateful to feel satisfied. A small serving, enjoyed mindfully, can still bring the warmth and flavor you love without overwhelming your system. And most importantly, listen to your body. If you feel heavy, tired, or bloated after eating potatoes, that's your body's way of asking for a different rhythm. There's no shame in adjusting. In fact, it's a powerful act of self-respect. Because now at this stage of life, you no longer eat just for comfort. You eat for clarity, for energy, for longevity. You eat to care for the heart that's loved so deeply, the legs that have walked so far, the mind that still dreams, still remembers, still hopes. Isn't it beautiful that you have the wisdom to do that now? That you can take something as simple as a potato and choose how to let it serve your body, not just your cravings? So the next time you sit down to a warm meal, take a moment to reflect. Let food be your ally, your quiet medicine, your daily act of love for the years ahead. Isn't it amazing how something as ordinary as food can hold such extraordinary power? Not just to nourish your body, but to shape your energy, your comfort, and even your joy. At this stage of life, you've already walked through decades of change, wisdom, and discovery. And now you carry something so valuable, the ability to choose what truly supports you. The vegetables you once welcomed without a second thought may now ask for more attention, more care. But that's not a burden. It's a quiet invitation to live more in tune with your body, to respect the way it evolves, and to embrace food as a daily act of love. You don't have to give things up. You just need to meet them with understanding. So the next time you sit down to a meal, I hope you'll pause, not out of fear, but with gratitude. Ask yourself, how do I want to feel after this? Because you deserve to feel light, clear, and strong every day, in every season of life. If this video helped you see your plate a little differently, or reminded you that small choices can make a big difference, please don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with a friend, or even with your children and grandchildren. Leave a comment. Tell us what foods your body responds to best. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more gentle guidance, warm stories, and practical tips made just for you.